be narrowing down our discussion to these 3 headlines. I also read another breaking news where Mr. Peter Obi complained about our students, adolescent boys and girls, having to travel as early as 4 a.m. in attempt to go and write examination. That's jam. And it's disturbing. It's quite unfortunate that the Nigerian system doesn't really consider before fixing events. It's appalling. How can an institution of government agency, JAM, went ahead and fixed 6 a.m. for examination of students into higher institution. So it's disturbing, and it boils down to the fact that our institutions have failed in all ramifications, and there is need for proper planning. And if the centers are not adequate, let there be more centers. And the JAM should be meant to admit only students they can adequately provide for, instead of squashing the students into different time schedule as early as 6 a.m. without considering the plight of these students who travel from one location to another at that odd hour, in a situation where the country is going through different terms of insecurity. But on this segment, we are narrowing down our discussion to the 3 headlines as earlier stated. The one that has to do with the trendy stories that we have earlier listed, mass defection. And one is beginning to wonder, is Nigeria gradually sliding into a one-party state? Tinubu is on a mission to destroy and destabilize all elements of democracy, because if the country is reduced to one-party states, then democracy is already hanging in the air, and democracy has been reduced to zero opposition. And the existence of opposition is what brings about the beauty of democracy. So on this note, Prof, I don't know if you have comments on this first item on today's trending stories. Mass defection. PDP, the one we expect should stand her ground and challenge for power in order to rescue Nigeria, is experiencing mass defection to APC. So what do you have to say in this regard, Prof? Are you there?
All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending from wherever you are listening to us right now. Well, you have really outlined a lot of headlines that are very captivating and also very interesting. More especially the one that you said, the issue of the current administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu trying to turn Nigeria into a one-party dictatorial system. Not even a one-party democratical system, but rather a one-party dictatorial system, which is very, very alarming and very, very sad to our current and the present day democracy in Nigeria. But however, sometimes I just have to sit down and think of individuals that are this into political arena and the political system that have been allowing the current president and the current situation of the political system to be luring and deceiving them. We said we started our system of a democracy since 1999 to date. And since from that 1999 to date, we have series of different political parties with the different political ideologies and with different interests trying to form a government that is nearest to the people and trying to also form a government that people will benefit and trying to also form a government that will take Nigeria to its own dreamland. But in this case of this current administration, the reverse has always been the case. The politicians that we are seeing and respecting as a politicians have now dancing on the tunes of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we don't know why. I don't know why a political party like PDP, a political party like any other party, the members will be defecting deliberately and join the current administration, the administration that all of us are not happy about, the administration that is not serving the interests of the people, the administration that have allowed people to be killed here and there, the administration that is not providing jobs for the youth, the administrations that is not even allow individuals to have a say in terms of the human right, the administrations that is also not allowing individuals to have a say in terms of free press, and the administration that is characterized with corruption, the administrations that we don't even know where it's heading to. But today, see how some recognized and well-meaning politicians are defecting from their original political party and joining the APC that all of us are crying for, the APC that all of us are not enjoying its system of administration and the system of politics and the system of governance. So it is very, very alarming when I am seeing the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration is trying to pocket almost all the dominant and the majority political party in its own political pocket. I used to be surprised. I used to be very, very surprised that can't we have a legitimate politicians like our own father, Peter Gregory Obi, a politicians that have his own manifesto at hand in political pocket, a politician that is ready to serve the interests of the masses, a politician that say, here I am, take me as you wish, and I will serve you the way you want me to be served. But look at what really happens to some politicians.
Let me interrupt. There are assumptions that the defections are as a result of the fear of the EFCC on grounds of some of corruption cases that are hanging in the courts. What's your thoughts in this regard?
It's all right. Suppose the allegations is real. Suppose it is not even allegation, but it's a real fact in the political discourse. Why will that scare you? Why will that threaten you? Why will that threaten you to leave your own original political party? Does that mean that you don't have anything to offer for the people? Does that mean that you cannot stand on your own? Does that mean that you are corrupt and you want to remain corrupt? And does that mean that you don't even have a political will to stand in cases of corruption? And let's suppose if it's even real, why did you even contest for an election when you know you are corrupt? Are you the only person that is contesting on that particular post? So for me, I'm seeing it as if even if they are going to use EFCC as a watchdog, even if they are going to use EFCC to threaten some politicians, I don't think the politicians still have that right to leave their own original political party and join the APC. Is that why all of them don't want the Peter Gregory Obi? Is that why they don't want to support him? Because he's clean and clear? Because he don't fear any other political actor in Nigeria? But honestly speaking, for me, I am seeing this as if the Nigerians supposed to awake and reawaken. We're supposed to have what we have, what is called a political hygiene. We're supposed to understand who have a master plan in his hand that will save us from these politicians. So in as much as some other politicians are leaving their own original political party and joining a political party that all of us are not happy with just because they have a lingering corruption cases attached to their seat, I think it's high time for all of us to keep our differences aside, irrespective of whatsoever affiliation that we are having, to support the movement of the Peter Obi. Seriously.
Thank you, Professor Muhammad, joining us all the way from Jigawa State. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Thank you. Would like to have your thoughts on the other two trending headlines. I don't know if you still remember it. In case you might need it, let me state them out. The one that has to do with the Benue, Plateau, Enugu, and Kwara states, where there have been occupation of terrorists taking over communities, and one is looking up to the government's reaction. So what's your thought in this regard that has to do with the insecurity, the terrorist activities in Plateau, Benue, Enugu, and Kwara states? That is not to say these are the only states where there are terrorism attacking the communities. But
I will likely comment on the one in Kwara State, because the one in Kwara State, for me, it is just like a new thing in the Southwest. Although even if there used to be an attack in the Southwest, the attack usually used to come mostly from the headsmen, as they used to say. But this time around, it's not even headsmen. It is about new terrorist group regrouping themselves in the Southwest, more especially in the Kwara State. So if, suppose, we can take Kwara State at the North Central or whatsoever, but the alarming factor of these new terrorist groups in that zone, in that particular area, is a very skillful thing. Let's not even go to Jos. Let's not even go to Benue, because the issue and the problem of Jos and the Benue, sometimes we can refer it to be as the farmers' headers clash. That's number one. And it can also be seen as also ethno-religious conflict, whereby the dominant Fulanis are attacking the Agatus or other tribe there. But in the issue of Kwara State, is beyond the issue of headers attacking the farmers, or is beyond the issue of headers attacking the occupant of that particular area. But this is another zone, and this is another strategic way of regrouping terrorism in the Kwara State, which is very, very, very alarming. That if the current administration did not put its own strategies and mechanism in place to combat this issue of terrorism, I am telling you that if care is not taken, it will escalate to other Southwest cities, which is going to be one of the biggest blow for this administration. Because as I am seeing it now, the administration is not even ready to combat terrorism, it's not even ready to combat the issue of insecurity, and it's not even ready to address the menace of insecurity in the country.
Thank you, Prof. In just a minute, so that others can have a contribution, I also want to have a touch on demolition of Innoson Headquarters by Governor Soludo, a big blow on local investors' confidence in Nigeria. What do you have to say in this regard, please?
Well,
1 minute.
Well, sometimes I don't really understand the style of the Governor Soludo's system. And the Governor Soludo, a professor in economics, for me, a professor in economics might have understand that the demolition of that particular place is of no use. Because there is no way you, as a professor of economics, you know what brings in the capitals, you know what brings in the money in a state, and you know how money is being utilized to get a profit. In as much as you have all this knowledge as a professor, I don't think there's need for you to go and demolish a place that is bringing in revenue in your own state. I don't know whether it is politically motivated. I don't know whether individuals that are controlling or that own that particular place are not in line with own political ambition. I don't know whether he have some other grievances with those individuals who control or who owns the place. Even as of that, there is no way, there's no need of you demolishing that particular place. You can at least seize it for just 1 week or 2 weeks. And then if the terms and the condition of seizure met, you reopen the place for economic benefit.
I thank you for Prof for your insightful contribution on the trending stories at the COPDEM People's Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers via DDM, we thank you for your time, for taking part in this program, and we want to indulge your patience to follow us on our various social media, so via WhatsApp, via X. You can follow us at COPDEM, official COPDEM, and you can also follow us on Facebook. We have our Facebook fan page, COPDEM fan page. You can please follow us on this platform. So please, back to the studio. We have more guests in the house via the Zoom. Please, if you want to have your contribution on the trending topics, please go ahead and unmute so that you can have your say on these burning issues.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Christian Ako.
Good evening, Mr. Ako from Edo State.
Okay, good. Fine to know that you can hear me. Okay,
yes,
I want to talk particularly on the defection from the PDP. As a matter of fact, it is quite unfortunate, to say the least, defection from the PDP and the chaos in Labour Party. You see, what all of this translates to is a failure, a confirmation in the failure in the system. It means that people are beginning to lose confidence in the system. It means that the systems are not working. Why did I say so? Now, you agree with me that part of the reasons that driving this defection is the zeal or the ambition to want to either come back for a second term or to want to pursue their respective political ambition beyond where they are now. And to enable them to do that, they have to join the present political party, the ruling political party, because you cannot have confidence in the court of law. You cannot have confidence on INEC, because all of these institutions who are supposed to be the regulators and the monitoring authorities are all pocketed in the pocket of the ruling party. So for you to be able to succeed in your political career as of today, you have to be part of the ruling party. Look at what happened in the 2023 elections. We all saw the narrative, how it played out. Again, look at this recent Edo elections. We also saw what happened. On the election day, we had two results. We had a different result from the IRF, and we also had a different result from the coalition center. And of course, the court cases that ensued, and the rest is history. So with the developments in the country, these politicians are not driven to not join the ruling party to be able to pursue their political ambition going forward. And now that becomes very dangerous for us, because it means that as it stands, there's no credible opposition political party in the country. And that makes practicing democracy very dangerous, because there's nobody
Mr. Agbonifo, hang on your thoughts. Talking about credible opposition, the ADC seem to be doing some of this thing in isolation, and recently COPDEM has entered a strategic alliance to boost her grassroots presence. What's your thought in this regard, having ADC as a credible alternative?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Akwa. I was actually going to that direction. You see, the need to build a very credible and formidable opposition political party at this point cannot be overemphasized. I want to give kudos to COPDEM for the strategic alliance with ADC, and I also want to encourage COPDEM and ADC to keep doing what they are doing, especially at the grassroots, because you cannot have gone into this alliance at a more better time than now, when the APC has taken over the whole system and narrowed Nigerians into a particular style of governance where people do not have a choice any longer. Is it what the beauty of democracy is? The ability to have a very active opposition political party that can checkmate the ruling party and make governance much more interesting. You know, it's a give and take thing. Nobody knows it all. You could go wrong at some time, and somebody could call you back as a watchdog to say, "Hey, that direction is not too good for you and for the people." And there's always supposed to be this check and balance. But the way they are going now, the way the APC is going now, you see, we're almost nose diving into dictatorship. And if we are not careful, this might eventually culminate in this APC going towards a third term. Mark my word. I want to leave it at that, due process, so
Yes,
that others can have their views.
Mr. Agbenifo, talking about checks and balances, academically, those are the responsibilities of the legislature to checkmate the executive when they are going excess, when they are beginning to abuse their powers and authority. And the court, on the other hand, are expected to interpret where there is disparity between the executive and the legislature. But on this note, we already have both institutions already singing the mandate of Mr. Tinubu, and one is surprised, where is then the role of the legislature in checkmating the executive, especially when there is abuse of power, like we can rightfully see in Edo State. And even the legislature that is expected to checkmate the executive excesses are also abusing power. They've flouted court orders, especially on the case of Natasha. And I also read a satire written by Senator Natasha to Senator Akpabio on his visit to Rome for the Pope burial ceremony going on. And the satire is so interesting. It was titled Erection, stuff like that. So what's your response to this matter as it is, in terms of the weaknesses and the submission, the bow to submission by the legislature to the executive head in person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom one expects that the legislature should be up and doing in scrutinizing every bills and every budgetary allocation submitted by the executive arm of government. But then they're already singing on your mandate to stand. So on that note, what are you really expecting from the the legislative arm of government?
Mr. Due Process, if you recall, when I started, I did mention that what could be propelling this defection is the complete breakdown of the system. You see, what we have now is a complete system failure. None of these arms of government is working the way they should work. For example, look at when the president went to the Senate to present or defend his budget, and you saw the senators immediately stood up and shouting, for somebody you are supposed to be asking questions, you are supposed to have gone through this budget and be asking questions, asking intelligent questions, and scrutinizing the budget in the interest of Nigerians. They immediately stood up and were singing, "On your mandate we shall stand." Is that not embarrassing for a system that's supposed to be? Do you understand? Only with that entrance song, it shows that there's already a compromise, irrespective of what the president has submitted for review. Do you understand what I'm saying?
In addition to that, are you aware that the Senate president also wears the insignia cap of Mr. Tinubu?
Exactly what I'm saying. So there's a breakdown of the whole system. You see, even the defection is also affects the National Assembly. You see the rate of defection at the National Assembly too. Nobody cares. Everybody just defend. Ordinarily, when you come into power on the platform of a political party. Is it not something that you should accord some respect to stay on that mandate for the period that you'll be there on that during that government? Why will you now jump ship? You got elected on the ticket of Labour Party. You got in there and not defeated to APC. Who does that? Where is that done? Are there no rules? Are there no regulations? It's practically absurd, my brother. Nobody does that in the country where people are organized.
I read Mr. Atiku's response, the former vice president and the PDP presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I read his response to the defection going on, and he was like, he's not surprised, he's even expecting more. But 2027 is a battle between Nigerians and then the few who are putting Nigerians in trouble. What's your response to that, please?
Yes, Mr. Process. If you ask me, I think all of this is an insult to the electorate. You see, people take out their time to go to election to bring in these people, to identify these people and elect them to represent them, and they go there and they begin to make fun of the whole thing. It's very embarrassing, as a matter of fact. Very, very embarrassing. So it's kind of ridiculing of democracy as far as I'm concerned. And like I have said earlier, the best we can do is to ensure we build a formidable opposition. If we have a formidable opposition in place, the opposition will continue to do foul cry on all of these activities going on within our political space. And I'm sure it will be a check on these very dirty politicians.
Yes, talking about building a formidable opposition, you are aware what the COPDEM is doing with the ADC, and how COPDEM is encouraging more House of Rep members to join the race for 2027 and beyond. And there are segments that prohibit jumping from one party to another. That is not to say that it's a trap for politicians who are willing to contest, but then we are trying to, COPDEM is trying to regulate the amount of jumping from one party to another, because we are looking at the electorates who took their time to invest their money, their emotion, their time, their resources, ensuring that a member represent them at the National Assembly. Then at the end of the day, when he gets there, he just jumped the ship to another political party without due consultation, without considering the plight of his constituency. And that's why that aspect of the conditionality surrounding supporting any House of Rep member is very important, and is timely, is proactive in ensuring that this daily jumping from one party to another, especially from the opposition party to the ruling party, will be put to check at all means. So it's quite commendable. Thank you, Mr. Agboni. I want more contributors on this program. In case you are just joining us, this is COPDEM People's Parliament, where we dissect socio-political issues as they affect Nigerians. Today, we are considering 3 trending topics as we deem it necessary for today. Number 1 on the trending stories is mass defection hits PDP and LP leadership also continues. ADC as a credible alternative. Number 2 is demolition of Innoson Headquarters by Gov Soludo, a blow on local investors' confidence in Nigeria. Imagine if you cannot set up your industry as a Nigeria in Nigeria, where else are you expected to do so? And if this trend is not put to check, you will see Nigerian investors going to other African countries to set up their industry. Invariably, that is the exportation of employment to those countries. So what Governor Soludo has done, he has done a great disservice to the Nigerian state and the Nigerian people. And it is expected that all citizens to condemn that act by Governor Soludo. So the number 3 is Plateau, Benue, Enugu, and Kwara state terrorist attacks. Where are the perpetrators? Can the Nigerian security architecture prove to us in video that they have arrested any of the terrorist group and what happened thereafter? We don't want to hear a situation where terrorists are being paraded as repentant, because for you to convince Nigerians that these guys have repented, then you should be able to do justice to the families of those who are mourning their dead. You cannot have a group of terrorists destroy government army, destroy government, the military bases in Nigeria, destroy communities, kill thousands of Nigerians, and render millions homeless. Then overnight you say because you've so rehabilitated them and you expect them to, to reunite to their communities. This is just a way of enabling terrorism in Nigeria. And we are calling for the perpetrators arrested and duly prosecuted. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you want to have contribution on these trending topics, please unmute and speak to us. I would like to also remind you that this program is being aired live via Diaspora Digital Media, that's DDM. And every of our conversation is being recorded. So please unmute and have your contribution, please. Thank you. Madam Chair, you're welcome to the program, and a host of many others who are joining us. I'm seeing some first-timers joining us in the program and some regulars as well. Mr. Enuche Jobson from Kwara, Madam Chair, you're welcome to the program. Prof has made a very insightful contribution today. Mr. Williams, we are glad to have you on the program. Mr. Amici Okoro.
Thank you too.
Program. We thank you all for coming. Please unmute and have your contribution on the trending topics. Thank you.
Yes, a very good evening to you, due process. Good evening, due process.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jobson. Can do.
All right. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone in the Parliament. And I want to especially thank Professor Muhammad for his wealth of experience sharing with us here this evening once again. I want to start from the defections of PDP members going to APC. Well, like Prof said, he said he's surprised. I am not surprised, because this is the strategy that has been put in place by the so-called administrators of the APC party back then in 2022, precisely, if I may be very, very clear vividly, because I was once one of them before this time now. So what am I trying to say? You see, people, PDP defecting to APC today is not a surprise to me. And this is what is going to happen. You know, Nigerians are power-driving people. We love powers a lot. And once you are not in the power, it's like a life has been taken out of you. So every opportunity you see, they want to jump to it. Our politicians has come to the level of, if they are not in that power, it's either they die or they leave. One must happen for them to get the power. And it's something alarming, which is not going to allow Nigeria democracy to flow in a fair way. Yes, like this one of my articles I wrote then, I said arbitrary aims of politicians. Democracy is yet to be born in Nigeria. I can tell you categorically, democracy is yet to be born in Nigeria. These are practical examples which I analyzed in some of those my articles then. And you can see it's happening now. We don't have democratic system in Nigeria. We are only doing what we think it will favor us as a party, as a person, as a group of people. Imagine somebody crossing from PDP to APC, from APC to PDP. What does that? Who does that in a country that their political system is well organized? Why would such decamping from one party to another, from one party to another, from time to time, a single person? I was not surprised when Okowa defected to APC. This is what Okowa wants. Atiku mistakenly chose Okowa, and that destabilized PDP today. If he would have chosen Obi, precisely Obi might have been there for him. But before then, he chose Okowa ahead of the time, which Obi knows, and quickly run away from them that no, these things will not be a level good ground for me. That is the problem we are facing in this country. You know the right person. Allow the right person to run the race. They will not. And the facts still remain the same. If we that are speaking here today, we didn't go back to our own drawing board and start strategizing our plan, because Baba Tinubu is ready to capture everybody by all means. They will threaten you, remove you. Just look at the case of Fubara. Don't be surprised if by tomorrow Fubara join APC. It's a tactical plan that Tinubu is using in Nigeria today. Every nooks and cranny of politics in Nigeria, Tinubu wants to be there. And the moment he's there, he will capitalize on that, your weak point, and penetrate to you, then destabilize your system and get his own rights. And I will say this categorically, ADC needs to go back to their drawing board and start strategizing their own plans too. A very, very strong plan, because like Atiku said, Atiku is not, he said he's not surprised about, and he's still expecting more defection. Yes, many will defect to APC just because they are power-driven set of people. They want to go there to enjoy the national cake and have it for themselves. And I believe if ADC has their own strategy of working things out, Nigerian masses are bigger than this. They are minority. I keep on saying it, and it happens in 2023. This set of people are minority. The majority have what it takes to defeat them, but the majority are not coming out in masses. There are only few that are setting themselves, let's make this struggle work. I'm urging every one of us today, this evening, we can still defeat APC no matter the defection. I will say it categorically. The strategy they are putting in place, we all know it. It's just for us to outsmart them and get things right done this time around. The mistake we did in 2023 should not be another repeated mistake for us. I'm not scared of this campaign. I said it in Kwara City. I told my people, I said, come, we are not scared. If they like, let's Governor Brahman. Because during 2023 election, he called us categorically, we the state schools. He said, how did you do it? There are some local governments he knows, which one of my local government is part of it, Ilorin South local government. He told me categorically, how did you do it? I told them, we have our own way of doing things. Please, can you give us the structure? I told the Governor Brahman, no, sir, we don't have anything to give. Our directive is from national. If our national said we should give you the structure, we can give you. But as far as we are concerned, we are not ready to give out the structure now. I'm not scared of their decamping, and I can categorically tell every one of us, don't be scared of their decamping. Decamping should not be anything that will move you. It's just a motivation way of me improving my intelligence among Kwarans here today. That is an avenue. Their own decamping is a very, very good motivation for me to prove them that no matter what, we still have what it takes to defeat you.
Thank you, Mr. Jefferson. Thank you, Mr. Jefferson, for that explanation from Kwara State. One thing is that the state governments, they have their way of trying to penetrate the obedient movement, but the more they try, the more they fail. You know, the obedient movement isn't built on money bags. So nobody can really buy anyone over, except anybody that is willing to be bought. So on that note, I will welcome at least 2 more contributors to the COPDEM People's Parliament contribution before we wrap up the program. Madam Chair, if you want to talk to us, I think one other person wanted to talk earlier. All right, go on. Honorable Koro, go on, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening. Are you using earpiece?
Sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm having problems removing the mute. No, I'm just listening. I just decided to listen before I can say anything. Let me see what is happening. Okay, thanks.
Honorable Koro, please, if you are using earpiece, kindly remove it so we can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Nigerians, this defection that is ongoing is a clear separation of the thieves from the Nigerian people. And I like it as it's going. It will clearly tell this is our enemies and this is the remaining ones are the Nigerians. I like it because I'm a member of ADC. And after this defection, we will know the remaining Nigerians that we work with and the real enemy of Nigeria. And we are going to defeat them. We are going to defeat them. You understand? So nobody should be afraid. Call all Nigerians who believe in democracy. I know there are some members of PDP that believe that Nigeria can work again, but maybe they are under those people defecting. This is a time to open the door for them and explain to them, let's shake hands together under ADC and take over Nigeria comes 2027. It is our opportunity. God knows how he does his own things. You understand? If he did not do it like this, let me say in 2027, I would have given my vote to PDP of Delta State, to Sheriff, because he is working very well. So most times I vote candidates that are doing well. He's doing very well, but because of just his distractions, he has lost 1 vote from me. And to every other person that are in ADC or that are in any other party, this is the time for you to join ADC. ADC is for Nigerians. APC is for Tinubu and his personal agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Koro, for that warm encouragement for those who are still standing aloof or still sitting on the fence that what is going on in the country currently calls for action. It doesn't call for sitting down watching, because every second counts as it is now. We all need to be proactive. While we make efforts to put the government on check and ensure that they are up and doing, we will not lose sight of our political focus as well, to ensure that we do our best to ensure Nigeria is rescued in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, do we still have more contributors on this program? At least we can have 1 more, then we can wrap up the program for tonight. All right, in the absence of further...
Good evening, due process.
Mr. Williams, good evening. Glad to have you with me and being part of this COPDEM People's Parliament. Feel free to have your contribution, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, every member of the COPDEM Parliament today. My name is Ayo Williams. On the subject that we are talking about, when I read that the PDP governor in Delta State decamped to APC, well, personally, it's not surprising, or that Kwara decamped to APC, because right after the election in 2023 in my state, Ondo State, and in my local government, Ilaje local government, the person who had been in the Federal House of Representatives representing PDP for 2 terms. He had been in the green carpet for 2 terms for PDP. He was going for the 3rd term, and he lost that election to APC person candidate. And right immediately after that election, he decamped to APC. And many of the PDP guys that we know to be the big guys in PDP decamped to APC. I was in a place where some of us were discussing, and what one of them said is that the Federal House of Representatives slot, that is the only one left for them that they were using to keep souls and body together, has been taken from them by APC. So what is left in PDP for us to stay with? And that tells you that, like what the other caller, the person who just finished speaking said, like what he said, we don't practice democracy in Nigeria yet. Democracy is not yet born in Nigeria. And if I will go back to my definition of Nigeria kind of democracy, it is not the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. No, it is the government of the elite class, by the elite class, and for the elite class. So if you are not one of them, then you are not just there. So that's what is happening in Nigeria presently. So, and I concluded by saying that Nigerian politicians have slavery mentality. Slaves have that mentality that they don't own anything. Therefore, they must steal. Slaves must steal their master's properties. They must find a way to steal it and hide it, because they have that mentality that they don't own anything. So for them to own a thing, they must steal that thing and keep it. And that is the mentality of our politicians. So the slavery period that the European came to Nigeria to take our people into slavery, that mentality is still entrenched, is still deeply seated in Nigeria politicians. So they need deliverance. That's by the side. Now let me come to the ADC stuff. The ADC we are doing presently, I see that we are not ready to take over Nigeria yet. The present Nigeria political system or arrangement, for you to run it and say that you don't need money right now will still be very difficult. It shows that we are not ready at all. So if there are people who really want this ADC thing to become an household name, to become acceptable everywhere, some of these people need to come together and support ADC and build the structure with some good funding. I will take myself as an example. We worked for Labour Party in 2022 before Peter Obi came. I was already a member of Labour Party. I joined Labour Party before Peter Obi came. So when our principal Peter Obi came, we were ready to work for him, and we did. Now I've been putting my money into Labour Party and politics since 2022 till this present time that we are trying to build ADC. Now at this point, as I speak with you, I don't have the capacity to carry on with that again. And in Ondo State, which is my state, we have tried everything possible to bring people together into ADC. But nobody is willing to want to join you in anything again because nobody is willing to put their money into anything again. And so if we don't have funds, how do we move? How do we build structure? So if we really want to build ADC as an alternative, we want to build a structure that is very strong.
William,
yeah.
Thank you for that background you're giving as to how political system, especially the opposition, have been failing and factors responsible for their failure. This program isn't actually designed for ADC. This is COPDEM People's Parliament, where Nigerians come together to have a conversation on how they are being governed, as to whether the government is doing well or not. It's not actually a party platform per se. We are only using ADC as a credible alternative. What makes ADC credible? Because ADC has been able to amend her constitution to accommodate new entrants, such that there's no discrimination against both parties, and there's no need for money bags coming in to just buy the party structure. And these are some of the things that makes Nigerian leaders not to perform, because they believe they have spent so much to achieve power. And they see it as business. When you invest on something, you have to reap off it. And the ADC as an alternative has been able to project, to be able to give this opportunity to Nigerians, average Nigerians per se, who don't necessarily need to have this money back, to be able to aim for leadership position, be it party position, be it political position, is open to everybody. You understand? So long as you're ready to labor and bring in the structure you have. Just for instance, if you're aspiring for membership, member of the House of Representatives or Senate or governorship under the ADC, all that you are expected to do is to pay a 1-year due and get 150 pieces membership cards for your constituency. This is the best any political party can be able to project, present for candidates. And this is something that ADC is doing uniquely that makes them to look different from other political parties. Imagine even the LP, where obedient and well-meaning Nigerians came together to build. We're still collecting a huge amount of money for expression of interest. And one begins to wonder where those money are actually being utilized to grow the party, or they are being funded by leadership structure. So as to whether money will be needed for political engagement in any political party remain a subject of discussion among the political parties. But in this particular program, our focus remains the COPDEM People's Parliament, where we discuss trending stories as they affect Nigerians. Sorry for cutting you short, but it became necessary that I put the narrative straight. There will be other forums where you can actually bear your thoughts in that line. I think we have overshot our time. On this note, I want to appreciate everyone that joined us. We look forward to having you tomorrow at same time, 7 p.m. From Mondays to Thursday. And on Friday, we have our X Space via COPDEM X handle. And tomorrow we'll be commencing the streets parliaments, where we provide this same opportunity to Nigerians on the street who probably don't even have Android phone, who probably are not even aware of what we are doing on Zoom, to equally have their contribution on how their country is being governed on these trending topics, so that they can equally add their voice to making Nigeria better. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this program. We say good night and have a wonderful night rest. From here, that'll be all. Thank you for joining us, and God bless you.
Thank you for the program. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Aya Williams.